Will begin against the man who runs the IRS. Among the issues that they're raising is failing to comply with a subpoena resulting in the destruction of key evidence, failing to testify truthfully and providing false and misleading information. That really would be targeting not only Commissioner Koskinen, but how he is alleged to have covered up for Lois Lerner and her emails or lack thereof. And finally, failing to notify Congress that key evidence was missing in the first place. Chairman Chaffetz, you might recall, along with other members of Congress, had been urging President Obama to get to the bottom of all of this, sent a letter to the president calling for the removal of the IRS commissioner. The White House did not respond, essentially ignored the overtures, and now they are taking matters into their own hands and moving to impeach Koskinen. This would be unprecedented for a federal agency of this type, certainly the IRS. Alan West, the former congressman, a decorated war veteran on all of this. What do you make? It's an uphill fight, I would imagine, but obviously the Republican committee or dominate committee was just tired of this.
Well, I think it's good to be with you, Neil. I think that it's not just a partisan issue. It's not about Republicans. It's an American issue. And we should not continue to have a federal government with agency heads and members of the agencies that believe that they can do such actions without any type of consequence. If any of us down here in everyday Main Street land were to do some of the things that we have seen emanating out of this current administration, such as Operation Fast and Furious with Eric Holder, we know the Border Patrol agent who lost his life, Brian Terry, but yet nothing becomes of it. So I think that you're starting to see not just the House of Representatives, but really the American people knowing that Lois Lerner is getting a six-figure taxpayer-funded retirement, pled the fifth, and nothing's going to be done. Someone has to be held accountable and responsible.
Do you think had Ms. Lerner or Commissioner Koskinen been more responsive to House requests for information, even emails, because remember, first of the emails are missing, the server is gone, then the server reappeared, emails came out of the blue, that had they avoided that fight back and forth, we wouldn't be talking about this now?
No, you're absolutely right. I think that the thing is you look for someone to have some semblance of honor, integrity, and character, to be responsive to the American people. This is not just about going in front of a hearing to Jason Chaffetz or other members of Congress. You're responding to the inquiries of the American people. And I think right now you see an executive branch that believes that they're above the rule of law in the United States of America. And that should not be the case. So the most powerful branch of our federal government, as established in the Constitution, is a legislative branch. They need to reassert their power and not allow the judicial branch and certainly the executive branch to just run amok over the American people, which I think is happening.
You know, there are some similarities with the whole dust of it controversy. You think about a congressman with the Benghazi, what Hillary Clinton knew and when she knew it, and the emails relating to that, her private servant, et cetera. This almost touches on the same issues. The IRS apparently had to raise 422 backup tapes containing as many as 24,000 of Lois Lerner's emails. Many of them reappeared, but I think at one point they were almost trying to subpoena the server that these were on, and then they lost the server, which is a pretty big deal, a pretty big thing to lose.
It's a very big deal.
But bottom line is now they're saying the hell with it. We can't believe we go back and forth on this. It apparently was a testy hearing with Koskinen. How far do you think this goes?
Well, I think it has to go as far as it can. When I was up there, I voted to censor the Attorney General, Eric Holder, hold him in contempt, rather. And I think that we need to send a message to the head of these agencies of the federal government. And this, it doesn't matter whether it's Democrat or Republican, you're not above the law. And let's always remember that Richard Nixon stepped down basically over breaking and entering to a campaign office. Now we're talking about a federal government agency with the power of taxation that was aimed against American people, American citizens, and we cannot allow that to stand.
All right, Congressman, thank you very much. Just to bring you up to date on this, these impeachment proceedings now against the man who runs the IRS were built on, first of all, targeting or alleged targeting of conservative groups that wanted to file for tax-exempt status.